first step to building the walls of the house would be we're going to snap the lines. The second would be plating the walls, so the nailing together top and bottom. That's the second step. Third step is what I call detail, which is marking where windows and doors go. That's the third step. So in this particular house, it's not a flat surface that we started with. We have to level out the house. So we call them pony walls. So instead of cutting it down and putting a bunch of dirt, raising it up, doing whatever, just easier to build the house, what we call a raised foundation. And then we raise the walls up to make it level to the highest point. So on top of our pony wall, we put the floor joist and the rim, and then that becomes the level surface that we started with for the main floor. First thing we have to do is take what's on the plans and put them onto the plywood, which we snap the lines anywhere on here that you see a wall. We snap on here. I use red. And so when we say snap lines, that's what we're talking about. We're marking where the walls go. So what we normally do is we start with the two longest points. So that would be the back of this house. We start there and then we do the far side. Okay, so when we start to snap the lines, we try to start with the longest 2 points, two walls, which would be, in this case, the back of the house. That's this wall. So we start with this, and then we want to start with the longest side, which in this case it jogs. So we come back the distance that this is, which is 2 feet. So we come back 2 feet here and we go snap this line all the way across. We make a square, which is basic 3, 4, 5 square. So we go out 15 feet, 20 feet, and then we diagonally, we want to be 25. That's basically how you pretty much start almost any house you do. You want to start with the two longest points and go from there. I use a red chalk because it's easier for me to see. This is a chalk box, basic chalk box. It pulls out the string like that. The guys have already come along, and the next step they're going to do is they take the top and the bottom of the wall and they nail them together and put them where they go for me to come along and mark what is in the wall. Because if I don't do that, they don't know where anything goes. So what we're doing is these two walls right here. We have a window here, he moved it, so I'm going to mark where this goes. And you'll see how I write. I start from the top, go down. This window is actually just sits on the floor. It's one of those more contemporary windows, so there is no cripples. This one, you'll see I'll have 3 numbers on it. That one is the header, it goes across the top. One is the trimmer, and the other one is the cripples. That's how high it is off the floor. So we'll start here, and then I'll do the front one so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's a 2.6, which is a 33-inch header. That's where this stud goes. The trimmer is my slash. I just put a slash, not a T. Some people do that. I only do that if there's 2. So my guys will know that X is the king stud, they call it. That holds the header, and this is the trimmer, which supports the header. So in this case, you have a 33-inch 6x10, and it goes to the top, so it would be 94 3/4 trimmer. And like I said, this window goes to the floor, so there's no cripples. So it's just open. It's almost like a door. This is a 6-foot window. Usually anything over 5 feet, you want 2 trimmers. So in this case, I put the slash, and I'll do a T like that. That means 2. Same thing on the other side. So they'll see that. And it gets 2 king studs also. And then a slash with 2, that's 2 trimmers. So in this case, it's a 78-inch 6x10. That's the header that goes up to the top. And it says double. 94 3/4 trimmers. That gives them the height of where the window ends. And then in this case, it's a 6-foot window by 6 foot, so it's 19 3/4-inch cripples. And they know that it has double sills, so it'll be basically a little bit over 2 feet off the ground. You'll see the next stage is actually picking the walls up and raising it. Now we're up on the second floor, so we're doing the same thing. We're doing layout. So we snap the lines, and that's where the walls actually go. When we say snap lines, that's what we're referring to, is taking the blueprints and putting the lines out where the walls go. That's the first step. Second step is what we call plating. You take the top and the bottom plate of the wall, and you nail them together with just a couple eight penny nails so it comes apart easily. And then I go along and I mark on those walls where the windows go, the doors, whatever goes in the wall I mark now, so the framers can come in and put it together.
So you're the guy that reads the plans, and then you draw that floor plan onto here, and then the framers build the walls.
Correct.
Now tell me, the outside walls are 2x6s, right?
Yeah, actually up in Tahoe, most walls are 2x6, but yeah, the outside is 2x6, and it's mostly for insulation value, plus also here with snow load, we can get a bigger header in the outside wall, so that's the main reason, two reasons that we use 2x6s. Then inside, yes, there are some in this house that gets 2x4 walls. They're just the smaller walls. There's no structural integrity that's sitting on them, so that you don't need a bigger wall.
Now, a floor like this, how long does it typically take to do the snapping lines and plating?
Snap plate and detail, that's what we call layout. 2-3 hours. We started this morning. We're just about done. And then this house was a little different. Yeah, so what we did is we actually built the slope of the inside ceiling on the floor. So it starts out at a 9-foot wall. So I measure from the inside of the outside wall 9 feet 3/4. And that's where we start, and then we come this way. We have 18 feet to this point right here. I'm a little old school, so I mark the height of the 9-foot ceiling again, and then 4 times 18 is 72. So from my 9-foot ceiling, I mark 72 inches. And then I snap the 9-foot point to this point, and that makes the inside sloping ceiling. And I come down 3 inches because you put two plates on top, so they're like this, and then the guys will know how to frame the wall. So when it's finished, they'll stand this up from the ground, and it'll be a rake ceiling, a sloping ceiling wall on the outside of the building. And so they'll be able to follow, the trusses will follow that line, and they'll end up with a vaulted ceiling. So when you walk in a home and you see the vaulted ceilings, if it's a cut stack roof, you have to match the pitch of the top of the actual roof. These trusses are made with a different pitch on the inside. I think the roof is a 6-12. The inside pitch of the rake wall is a 4-12. So it just depends on how it's built. If you have the truss calculations, the book in the trusses, it'll tell you the starting height and the ending height. So you can just copy what they have.